What is denaturation protein? Denaturation in biology is the process of modifying the molecular structure of the protein. Denaturation involves the breaking of many of the weak linkages or bonds. Denaturation proteins has more random structure and most of them cannot be dissolved. Also, denaturation is a process in which proteins or nucleic acids lose their quaternary structure, tertiary structure, and secondary structure, which is present in their native state by application of some external stress or compound, such as a strong acid or base, concentrated inorganic salt, an organic solvent, alcohol or chloroform, radiation, or heat.
What will happen when a protein is denatured? If proteins in a living cell are denatured, this results in disruption of cell activity and possibly cell death. Proteins denaturation is also a consequence of cell death. Also, when a protein is denatured, secondary and tertiary structure are altered, but the peptide bonds of the primary structure between the amino acid are left intact. Since all structural level of the protein determine its function, the protein can no longer perform its function once it has been denatured. Meaning, if the protein is being denatured, it will cause the breakdown of the secondary, tertiary, and quaternary structure, while the peptide bonds of the primary structure will still be intact. Since all structural levels of the protein determine its function, the protein can no longer perform its function once it has been denatured.
In quaternary structure denaturation, protein subunits are dissociated. The spatial arrangement of protein subunits is disrupted. It means denaturation sabotages the quaternary structure by dissociate the protein subunits and disrupt the spatial arrangements of protein subunits.
Tertiary structure. Denaturation involves the disruption of covalent interactions between amino acid side chains, non-covalent. Dipole interaction between dipolar amino acid side chains, van der Waals induced dipole interaction between non-polar amino acid side chains.
Secondary structure denaturation. Proteins lose all regular repeating patterns such as alpha helices and beta pleated sheets and adopt a random coil configuration.
Primary structure, such as the sequence of amino acids held together by covalent peptide bonds, is not disrupted by denaturation.
Egg white is primarily made of soluble proteins in its liquid. It is translucent in fresh eggs. When it is boiled, it denatures the proteins and make them lose solubility. Denatured protein aggregates and form mass that is now opaque and solid. Milk by adding acids, such as citric acid from lemon juice, denature milk proteins and curdles the milk. The solid white protein that separates from the whey is denatured protein. This can also be seen when milk curdles naturally due to bacterial colonization. Bacteria can produce lactic acid as a byproduct of metabolism. When properly controlled, this process of denaturalization is used to make yogurt and pressed cheese.
Summary: when the protein is denatured, it will cause the breaking down of the quaternary, tertiary, and secondary structure and also breaking of many of the weak linkages or bonds that causing the cell death.